From Washington, this is VOA News. Nine security forces die in separate attacks in Egypt, and bombings in Iraq kill dozens. I'm David Byrd reporting from Washington. Suspected militants in Egypt killed 9 members of the security forces in separate attacks on Monday, one day after clashes between Islamists and police left dozens dead. In one attack, masked gunmen opened fire on an army patrol at a checkpoint near the city of Ismailia, killing 6 soldiers. The incident occurred shortly after a car bomb hit a security headquarters in the southern Sinai Peninsula, killing 3 policemen and wounding dozens. Also Monday, at least 2 rocket-propelled grenades slammed into a compound that houses the country's main satellite Earth station in a southern Cairo suburb. For the latest on this story, please visit our website, voanews.com. Police in Iraq say a string of Monday evening bombings in Baghdad has left at least 38 people dead. Officials say the bombs went off shortly after nightfall and struck at least 8 different neighborhoods. Earlier Monday, roadside bombs targeted Iraqi security forces, killing at least 5. Here in Washington, there are no outward signs of progress in the U.S. budget battle, despite new calls from the White House for congressional Republicans to pass a government funding bill. As VOA's congressional correspondent Cindy Sain reports, the dispute comes as the deadline nears for the U.S. to raise its debt limit.
On a visit to the Federal Emergency Management Agency Monday, President Barack Obama challenged Republican House Speaker John Boehner to hold a vote quickly to fund the government.
Let every member of Congress vote their conscience, and they can determine whether or not they want to shut the government down. My very strong suspicion is that there are enough votes there.
Republican House Speaker John Boehner has rejected calls for a vote on the funding bill without conditions, saying the votes are not there. On Monday, Boehner went on the offensive on the debt ceiling, attacking President Obama.
This morning, a senior White House official said that the president would rather default than to sit down and negotiate. Really?
There are only 10 days to go until the debt ceiling deadline, and the shutdown is entering its second week. Cindy Sain, VOA News, on Capitol Hill.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is defending a special forces raid that captured a senior al-Qaeda operative in Libya, saying the operation was legal and appropriate. The Libyan government has asked the United States for clarification about what it called the kidnapping of Abu Anas al-Libi inside the African nation on Saturday. Kerry said Monday on the sidelines of a regional summit in Indonesia that Libya's complaints are unfounded and that Libya will go before a court of law. The 2013 Nobel Prize for Medicine has been won by 2 Americans and 1 German who all work at U.S. universities. The Americans, James Rothman and Randy Schekman, and Germany's Thomas Sudhoff, were jointly recognized for their research into how cells organize their transportation system. Schekman says that he will continue the work and hopes the Nobel Prize will help open doors for more research.
I have wonderful people in my lab working on these basic questions, and I fully intend to continue to work on these basic questions. I'm driven by a hunger for knowledge, and there's nothing more gratifying than discovering something new.
The winners of the prize were announced Monday in Stockholm. Prizes will also be handed out for chemistry, physics, peace, and economics. A U.S. official says the target of Saturday's Special Forces raid in Somalia was a Kenyan man who was working with the militant group Al-Shabaab. A senior Obama administration official identifies the man as Abdul Qadir Mohammed Abdul Qadir, a Kenyan of Somali origin who also goes by the name Ikrima. The official says that Abdul Qadir is a foreign fighter commander for al-Shabaab. And on Tuesday, the United States will unveil a new $100 bill, a note that will still show touches of long-standing tradition, including a portrait of founding father Benjamin Franklin, but will also carry new markers in an attempt to thwart counterfeiters. The $100 bill is the most global banknotes that the U.S. prints. For more on these stories, please log on to voanews.com. I'm David Byrd in Washington.